The heat that afternoon was more than uncomfortable. It was oppressive, heavy, suffocating. The asphalt burned under the merciless sun, releasing shimmering waves that made the city seem as if it were melting. The streets were nearly empty, not by chance, but because no one in their right mind stayed outside at that hour. The air was dry, thick with dust and the stench of overheated garbage. Every breath felt like effort. It was in that setting that Liao was abandoned. She was only 4 years old. Her small body trembled, not from cold but from overload. The excessive stimuli, the distant traffic noise, the heat scorching her skin, the roughness of the ground, collided inside her mind in a chaotic storm. Liao was autistic, though she had no words yet to describe it. The world had always been too loud, too fast, too intense. Minutes earlier, she had been inside a hot car, rubbing her fingers against the seat fabric, gently rocking her body in a motion that helped her cope. The engine stopped abruptly. The silence was sudden and frightening. The man in the front seat, her stepfather, got out without saying a word. He opened the back door and pulled Liao out roughly, ignoring the muffled cry trapped in her throat. He set her down on the burning asphalt as if she were a discarded object. The contact with the ground forced a sharp whimper from her lips. Liao grabbed her feet, feeling the immediate pain of her sensitive skin burning. "You're a problem," he said coldly, impatiently. "Your mother isn't here anymore, and I'm not carrying you with me." The words didn't make logical sense to Liao, but the tone did. It was rejection. It was final. The man got back into the car and drove away. Liao ran a few steps after the vehicle, tripped and fell. The sound of the engine fading echoed like something permanent. She screamed, not a structured scream, but a raw, desperate sound from someone whose inner world had collapsed. No one answered. Alone, Liao crawled toward the narrow shade of an abandoned building. She sat with her back against the wall, pulling her knees to her chest and rocking her body repeatedly to calm herself. Her wide eyes were fixed and unfocused, trying to process the chaos around her. The heat did not ease. Thirst burned her throat. Sweat mixed with tears on her face. She did not understand abandonment. She only felt emptiness. Time passed in a confusing blur, minutes or hours, she couldn't tell. Then something shifted in the air. A different sound. Heavy footsteps dragging nearby. She froze. Across the street, through the shimmering heat, a large silhouette appeared. Tall. Strong. Its upright ears showed constant alertness. It was a German shepherd. His dark fur was coated in dust. His muzzle bore old scars. One of his front legs showed a clear limp. Yet his posture remained firm. Protective. Leah's heart raced. She curled in on herself, instinctively covering her ears to block the overwhelming stimuli. The dog approached slowly, no growling, no barking. He stopped a few feet away. The German shepherd's brown eyes studied her with calm, almost human awareness. There was no aggression, only vigilance, assessment, and something deeper, recognition of fragility. As the sun lowered, the heat stayed trapped between the buildings. With night came new dangers, drunk men, stray dogs, harsh voices echoing through alleys. The German shepherd stood. Despite his injury, he positioned himself between Liao and the street. His large body formed a clear barrier, a silent warning. When a group of stray dogs approached, he growled, a deep, controlled sound filled with authority. The dogs backed away. Liao watched in absolute silence. For the first time since being left there, her body began to relax. The rocking slowed. Her breathing became less erratic. The dog did not leave. When night fully arrived, he lay close enough for Liao to feel the warmth of his body. Instinctively, she leaned against his side, resting her head on his flank. The German shepherd did not move. He accepted her. That hot night, in streets that smelled of danger and abandonment, a wounded dog became the first living being to choose Liao. Without knowing it, he saved her life. Liao woke wrapped in light sheets, feeling something she hadn't felt in days, cool air. A ceiling fan turned slowly above her, spreading relief through the room. The contrast with the suffocating heat of the streets made her body tense immediately. She curled in, confused, her eyes opening slowly. A white ceiling. The smell of disinfectant. Distant, calm voices. She was in a hospital. For a few seconds, Liao didn't understand where she was. Her small body stiffened. Sensory overload returned, light, sound, smells. Her chest began to rise and fall too fast. Her hands searched desperately for something familiar. Something warm. Something alive. "The dog," she whispered. Panic surged when she tried to sit up. A nurse approached quickly, speaking softly, slowly, respecting her rhythm. She placed her hands gently on Leah's shoulders, aware that touch could either comfort or overwhelm. "He's alive," the woman said quietly. "The German Shepherd is being treated. He didn't leave." The words cut through the chaos in Leah's mind like fresh water. Her body relaxed almost instantly. She stopped struggling. Tears fell silently down her cheeks. She believed it. In the following days, Leah received intensive medical care. Severe dehydration, burns on her feet, extreme exhaustion. Doctors were astonished by how much her body had endured under such heat. But what concerned them most was not her body. It was her eyes. Leah barely spoke. She observed everything, absorbed every detail. Whenever someone raised their voice or moved too quickly, she withdrew. Professionals soon realized Leah was on the autism spectrum, with sensory hypersensitivity and difficulty communicating verbally under stress. At night, nightmares came. She woke up sweating, screaming, reliving the moment the car disappeared. She always called out for the same thing: the dog. Psychologists understood something essential. Leah did not survive alone. She survived because someone stayed. The German Shepherd had been found still guarding the area where Leah had been abandoned. Even sedated, he resisted. He was malnourished, his paws infected, with signs of long-term neglect. Most likely a former guard dog discarded after being injured. 2 rejected souls. 2 survivors. When Leah was discharged, she was taken to a temporary shelter. Clean. Organized. Too quiet. There were toys, but she didn't play. Food, but she ate little. She slept curled up, always on the same side of the bed. She missed the weight of the dog beside her. The system did what it could. Investigations confirmed criminal abandonment by the stepfather. Leah's mother had died months earlier, leaving the child vulnerable. There were no close relatives. Leah entered foster care. Years passed slowly. The small, silent girl became a thin teenager with rigid posture and watchful eyes. At school, she was intelligent but withdrawn. She avoided crowds, loud noise, and extreme heat. She preferred solitude, drawing dogs, always large, always alert, always protective. There was something curious. Animals reacted differently around Leah. Aggressive dogs calmed down. Injured animals allowed her near. No one could explain it, but Leah could. She had learned that language on the streets. At 18, she began volunteering at an animal rescue center specializing in dogs abandoned in extreme heat. There, Leah didn't feel strange. The environment was predictable. The dogs demanded no explanations. They understood silence. Still, one type of dog always made her chest ache. German Shepherds. Whenever she saw one, her body reacted before her mind. Her hands trembled. Her breath shortened. At night, dreams returned, the burning asphalt, the smell of dust, and a large body standing protectively in front of her. She never forgot. Then one day, everything changed. The center received a special request. A rehabilitation kennel was transferring elderly dogs rescued years earlier, never adopted. Leah was assigned to organize the files. That's when she saw the photo. Her world stopped. The dog was older now, his muzzle white, his gaze tired, but the scar on the front leg was unmistakable. Leah sat down slowly. Her hands shook. The air felt too heavy to breathe. The file read, German Shepherd, rescued after protecting a child abandoned in an urban area of extreme heat. She didn't need to read anything else. Days later, Leah traveled to the facility. The kennel was located away from the city, surrounded by trees and silence. The heat there was softer, filtered by shade. When she entered the elderly dog's area, her heart pounded painfully. There were several dogs, but one lay slightly apart. When he heard footsteps, he lifted his head slowly. Their eyes met. The German Shepherd stood with effort, took a few steps, stopped, sniffed the air. His eyes widened slightly. His tail moved, slow, uncertain. Leah dropped to her knees. Tears poured freely. "It's you," she whispered. The dog approached and pressed his nose against her face. A low sound escaped his throat, almost a whimper. He remembered, not by sight, but by essence, by bond. There, under the gentle heat of that afternoon, 2 survivors reunited. Leah took the German Shepherd home. The months that followed were filled with quiet care. Medication, short walks, fresh water, shade. At night, he slept beside her bed, exactly as before. Now it was Leah who stayed. When the German Shepherd passed, it was peaceful. He was old, tired, at peace. Leah held his paw as he took his final breath. "You stayed," she whispered. "Now I stay for you. Today, Liao works rescuing animals and children in extreme situations. She doesn't speak much in public, but when she does, she says only this: survival matters, but being chosen saves. The heat tried to destroy everything. It couldn't destroy love. And some bonds, not abandonment, not time, not pain, can ever erase.